Okay, Libra. I wasn't sure about the messages I was getting, but then the card relationship fell out to confirm the theme of the reading. And there is something going on. And it seems to be like time is of the essence. You need this message now. You know, I was going to do all the earth signs, all the air signs as I've been doing, as I've been guided to do. But your energy came right through, right after Virgo, and was like, nope, Libra needs to be read right now. And the messages came in quickly. And they seem to be suggesting, we're going to pull out more cards and see, that there is a significant relationship where this relationship introduces a turning point for you. This could be something that has already transpired, you're currently in, or coming up. So everybody's on different parts of the energetic timeline, so you place yourself wherever it makes sense for you. There could also be Taurus energy that's significant for some of you. But it feels, you may know a Taurus rising I'm getting. Doesn't have to be. Or somebody could appear to be very Taurian, even if they're not. Okay, maybe this is like someone who appears to be steadfast or grounded or maybe stubborn, a little bit fixed, stable. It feels like there's another side to this relationship or this dynamic or this person. I'm not sure where we're going to go with this. I'm not really getting a warning just yet, although intuitively I feel like there's something on uncertain ground. Something's a little bit shaky. So it also feels to me like this relationship, whatever it is, it could be with a colleague, it could be with a family member, it could be with a friend, it could be love. But whatever this relationship is, it seems to be very important for you, like fated in some kind of way. Okay, so the first thing I got is that there is going to be a sudden silence. The music just ended, and I think the next song's going to come on. But as I say that, it just went dead silent. So the number 3 might be significant for you. Also 4 and 11. I just saw 33 on the timestamp. But this silence could be quite literal, like what just happened. It could be the power goes out or something just turns off. Or maybe we're talking here about a sudden lack of communication between two people or more than two people. There's a silence in the energy. And it's this moment of silence, whether it's a brief moment or an extended moment, that marks an important passage for you. Like an important energetic passage. It's almost like that silence is a portal itself. Then I got the word Dreamweaver, and it reminded me of the song, which I looked up, and there was something in the lyrics about the astral plane, and I feel like this is significant for you. You could be having some very significant and symbolic dreams, information coming through to you on the astral plane. Some of you had a lot of experiences of astral projection and travel, perhaps when you were younger. It also feels like you are meeting up with someone on the astral plane, whether this is in your dream or maybe in a more energetic sense. Take what makes sense to you. Then I got a message that there's going to be a private meeting. Maybe the private meeting is on the astral plane. This could also be about work or something like that. But there's a private meeting, and it's happening at night before the dawn. And it feels like you are going to meet this person on the dark side of the moon. Okay, there's a private meeting on the dark side of the moon. Out of sight. Okay, and I got this image of you traveling through like this bright space, this light space where everything is clear and everything is out in the open, and then it's like the silence happens, a meeting happens, and suddenly you're on the other side of the moon in the dark. But it doesn't feel bad. It feels like this is important for you. I'm hearing a gesture. Someone's going to make a gesture towards you. Take my hand. Maybe someone's going to hold your hand through something, or this could be a guide even. There's something about Saturn and time, and then the last thing I got was teeth. Feels like teeth are symbolic. Maybe you're having dreams of teeth, or something's happening there. We're going to pull out more cards and see what comes through. Let me just look up teeth symbolism and see what comes up. I'm hearing the root. The root. Teeth symbolism. Transition and maturity. The growth of wisdom teeth is often associated with transition into wisdom. And the music has stopped again. Yeah, and that's what it feels like. A transition into another place, into another realm. And then we have dreams. I'm just looking up the meaning of teeth right here. Then we have dreams and foreshadowing. Dreams about teeth, especially falling out, can be interpreted as signs of impending change, loss, or the need for self-care. Whenever I've had a dream about teeth or losing teeth, typically for me, it's that I'm trying to work through something, but I'm having a hard time chewing through it, or I don't have the right tools or information, the teeth, needed to make sense of something or to digest something properly. Okay, so that could be happening for you. Let's get this sound back on track. And it comes back. Okay. Interesting energy here, Libra. So let's get in a layer deeper, which is something that I don't typically say until the extended reading, and there will be one. And it's interesting that it's coming up now because I usually don't mention it till the end because I don't believe you're going to miss anything if you don't go to the extended. So something's going to be up front for you. So since I brought it up, there will be an extended reading. The link will be in the description box below. But if you can't go to that or you don't want to, you're going to get a complete message here. I'm not going to leave you hanging. So there's something about that that is a message for you. Getting something up front or knowing something up front so that you don't have to worry about not having the information you need, those wisdom teeth. It feels like you're learning something very significant and important in the context of some kind of relationship, and you could feel pulled to explore this, but ill-prepared on some level. And I feel like Spirit is saying that you're going to get the teeth. You're going to get the information. You're going to get the wisdom to digest whatever it is that you learn, the tools that you need. Someone could try to make some kind of exchange with you or deal with you. It might not be obvious how this is happening. Someone's trying to make a pact with you. The diviner, divine timing and evaluation. Time is very important here for you. Now, with this card coming out as the energy supporting you, I feel like Spirit is saying you're very tapped in, tuned in to this energy that I'm reading on, and you'll be able to handle it with care and see what seed is being planted or has been planted in this relationship and whether you want to water that seed or not. This is a, what do I say there, Spirit? Insight, 7 of water. This is a pivotal meeting, private meeting, relationship. It's going to give you great insight. Insight into what? Strength in reverse. Where you need to grow a little bit more, where your weaknesses are, how you bring strength to situations. And maybe something that you thought was really fortified or kind of stuck as it is, you're going to see a weakness in someone else or about something. But this weakness is kind of like a vulnerability that takes you by surprise. Something that you thought was like locked up. I'm even getting the word stonewalled. Has a weak point in it. Many tongues, 7 of swords. What is going on here, Libra? It's very mysterious. It's very cloaked. Well, your meeting here is cloaked. Others aren't aware of something that's happening here, or they're not going to be aware. The scholar, investigation, research, and the catalyst, radical changes taking control. Yes, and it does feel like this moment in time is a catalyst. This relationship is a catalyst, the whole thing. I even feel like saying the whole bloody thing, which I never use that phrase, so maybe that's significant to someone. You may be trying to find information out so that you can take control of the situation, so that you can make sure things go your way in this meeting or in this relationship even. And what's the advice there, Spirit? The Queen, determination and sacrifice. It feels like you may have to give up a little bit of control, which doesn't mean giving up discernment and intuition. But there's something here where the teeth are going to come at the right time. I don't know why it's coming through like this, but the plate is served. Okay, and you're looking at this food and you're like, how am I going to eat this? I don't have the teeth. Okay, and Spirit's going to say that, like, they're going to come at the right time, or you're going to remember you have them when you lift that food to your mouth. This is a weird analogy. But it's metaphorical. It has to do with like being able to digest something, to take something in, to experience something, to go through the transition. You've been very determined with something, and it's going to pan out in divine timing. You've evaluated quite a bit about the circumstance and the situation, and maybe even the relationship, your feelings, or whatever's going on, contracts, whatever. And Spirit's saying, it's kind of time to relinquish some control. We have the 9 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles, and put faith that there is going to be an exchange that is a catalyst for you, that's important for you. It feels like you could possibly miss the significance of a connection if you try to control how it's going to unfold, or try to get so much information that you have some kind of advantage or heads up. It feels like something just wants to happen. Someone takes your hand, Spirit maybe, or maybe someone else, and pulls you to the dark side of the moon, and you want to say like, well, wait up, wait up. Okay, maybe they go first, but it's like, wait a second, what's up ahead? I need to know what's on the dark side of the moon before I go there. And Spirit's saying, well, you're already on the moon, though. Like, you're already on the moon. You already made that journey. And now you just need to step into the shadow. Interesting. So it could be a shadowy situation, but it doesn't have to be negative. It could just be like the unknown. You have to go into the dark side and see what's there. Because you're not going to know until you do it. And I'm not sure what's going to happen. We'll see if we can get that information. But whatever it is, it's going to be a catalyst for you. It's going to be a radical change in your life. This relationship, this private meeting, this transition into an unknown area. And this private meeting might be private in a literal sense. Okay, maybe you're having a secret rendezvous. I don't know. Or it could just be like only a select few know about the significance, the karmic significance, maybe spirit guides or whatever. But it's like only a select few are knowledgeable about what's going on. It feels like you hold some kind of important position. Okay, this is like, yeah, this is, I can't even think of the word right now because it's not the right one, the one I'm looking for. Well, what I was going to say, it's like a meeting for the elites or the upper class that nobody knows about, but Spirit's not giving me the right words for that because that's not exactly how it should be explained. It's something about Mother of Wands. Well, it is kind of like a invite only kind of situation. Only those who have passed a certain threshold, there it is. Only, the Spirit's saying, only those who pass a certain threshold are in this meeting or get to go to this meeting or are aware of this meeting. Okay? Strange energy, Libra. And it wanted to be read right away. The Fool. It's interesting too because usually I have been recently, I just started doing this, putting this red string around my wrist before I read. And if you've been here for a while, you know the red thread is significant for me, so I've decided to materialize that significance. And what I'm getting, it means various things for me, but one of the things it means, and what I'm getting for you, is that there's a thread, an energetic thread, for you to find your way through something, through the energy, and out of the energy again. Okay, so if there's a contingency plan, have a contingency plan, or find a way to get back to the light side of the moon when it's time. I hope that makes sense. The Fool. Because look, oh wow, look, from light to dark. You are going on some kind of journey here. It is a catalyst. It's a new thing for you. It's intense too. Okay, there's going to be lots of experiences you will have that will change the way you perceive yourself. Okay, let's see what you don't see coming, dear Libras. That keeps showing up every time I split the deck to get more information. The Nine of Cups keeps coming up. This is something that your soul has manifested, generated. Ace of Fire, Ace of Wands. It says Force at the bottom. It's you've been looking for a soul growth. You've been looking for a change. You've been looking for an upgrade, maybe in your intuition or just your life in general. And here it is. So get ready. And it feels like it's a little bit of a risk you need to take. Maybe this feels a little bit forbidden or uncertain, or there is something about this that you're like, it's probably not a good idea, but you just keep getting this intuitive feeling to try it, to do it, to, you know. Now you have free will, so you get to decide. But it feels like if you're in a place of indecision, or you're on the precipice of going and engaging in a particular relationship, it feels like you're in the stage of like, well, I want more information, the scholar and the catalyst, before I decide whether I want this to be a catalyst for me. And Spirit's saying this is in the challenge position, like there's not much more to find out here. until it actually happens, until the silence. I don't know, Libra. This is going to be somewhat of a private experience as well. Personally transformative. Okay, let's see. What else, Spirit? 2 more. Wow. Yeah, the star. It feels destined. It's not unstoppable. You can turn back. You can decide, I don't, screw the moon. I want to go to another planet, or I want out of outer space. I want out of outer space, out of the astral plane. I want to get grounded. I want to do something else. You're free to choose that. But the energy here, there's encouragement to go forward with this. There's a spark in your spirit around this, and it's kind of undeniable, this connection, this relationship. Okay, so I want to get more clarity here. We have the Fool for your overall energy. Can we see a little bit more? 7 of Swords again, and then this extra card, this unnamed card, the unknown, right? The unnamed card, where we're not given the meaning of it, but we have to make sense of it ourselves. And that's what you're going to have to do too. Someone can't tell you what something is going to be or how it's going to unfold. You have to make sense of it yourself. Something's going to wake up inside of you that's been kind of dormant for some time or sleeping. You're also cutting through a lot of thick energy. Okay? I'm getting like there's been a cluster of energy. Maybe these are multiple people, or maybe this is just one person with a lot of emotions. I don't know. There's been a cluster of energy that you're going to cut through. The 7 of Swords, many tongues. This is, of course, the card of deception and trickery. And there might be, this does feel like kind of, well, the Fool, when the Fool comes out, you're on the hero's journey, right? Like you're at the beginning of a journey. And on the hero's journey, there are ups and downs. There are villains, there are thresholds, there's obstacles, there's rewards, there's guides. There's lots of different characters that we meet when we go on a new journey, when we're on a new path, starting a new timeline, all of that. All these characters come into play to teach us things. And I'm getting with the many tongues that once you go to the dark side of the moon, whatever that means, there's going to be something very significant for you. And I'm going to try to pull that out. It didn't come out now yet, but I'll pull a last card when we're wrapping this part up. That is going to be worth it. I can feel that. But along the way, there are going to be some twists and turns and things that you're going to have to figure out, whether something is what it says it is and worthy of your attention. Now, you also might be telling yourself that you know exactly what's going to happen up ahead. You don't. I'll tell you that right now. It doesn't matter how psychic or intuitive you are, how many readings you do, you are not going to be able to see what's up ahead. And that's for your benefit. That's what you need to sacrifice with this Queen energy that says sacrifice on it. Is the need to know. Okay, 9 of Cups for what you don't see coming. That's a good sign. This is some kind of wish fulfillment here. There's also an expansion of your creativity that's going to happen as a result of this relationship and connection. 10 of Pentacles. Beautiful. Ascension, grounding, alignment. For some of you, this is a catalyst to another spiritual awakening on a deeper level. This might be a relationship or partnership that is fully aligned in some way to create mutual awakenings within a group of people or with you and someone else. I'm hearing this. You're going to get what you want, but it might not be obvious at first, or it might not seem that way as you travel through your journey. But you will. Rainbow mirror. You're flipping something as well. It's like something has been inverted in a sense. Maybe you're turning the tables, but it doesn't feel egoic like that. It feels like something was being mirrored to you in some way where it, like, how do I say that? Something has been backwards and you're turning it the right way. Yeah. There is less attention on the material world and material engagements, like maybe financial engagements or desire and things like that. There's less focus on that and more focus on the spiritual significance or the higher mind and how that is expanding in this relationship. Even if this is at work and you're like, my boss, my coworkers don't know anything about spirituality. It doesn't matter what they know on like a conscious level. There's something about the coming together that's going to create some kind of turnaround. It's going to right some kind of backward perception. Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands for your opportunity. This is that spark in your heart, in your soul. And then over here we have the Flame of Spirit. Okay, let's see. Tell me more about the Ace of Wands for the opportunity for Libra. What's this Ace of Wands about? One of Earth, Ace of Pentacles, and it says form, force and form. Oh, yeah, this is amazing, Libra. I'm a Libra rising, so I'm kind of excited if this pans out for me too, because this is putting the force of your spirit, the force of your creativity, your energy into something tangible, giving it form. And maybe that's what's been kind of lackluster for you, right? It's like you have all this wisdom inside the teeth, right? The teeth finally come in. They come into form. They've always, like, think about children, right? They've always been up in the gums, but now, and you don't know they're there, but then they come into form exactly when you need them. Okay, so there's something about that. Your teeth, like symbolically. They're coming into form, your wisdom, something that you can point to and say, yes, that represents me, or yes, I created that. That is a reflection of my potential. This is beautiful. There's also like this energetic force that's been like brewing or been cultivating, and finally the meeting is happening, the meeting of forces or the meeting of material, and it comes together to create something like solid. I'm hearing with a date and a time. That's just feeling so good in the heart chakra. It feels exhilarating, but also a little bit nerve-wracking at the same. There's nervousness here, and there's always going to be nervousness when something new happens that you care about. Strength in reverse again. Yeah, and maybe this is where you see a certain way in because someone else is nervous too, or because you realize that your nervousness has maybe held you back at some points. Okay. Your challenge, the obstacle here, 9 of Earth. So we have 2 9s here. We have 919, could be an important number. This is solo journey. This is solo activity. This is getting yourself up on your feet, spending some time alone, solitude, but being productive. This is stability as well. But what you don't see coming is the 10 of Pentacles. So you're moving out of a period where you're alone in some way or another and moving into a relationship. Sacrifice. You may have to sacrifice, as you see it, some kind of independence, control. Let's see, what is this? 9 of Earth. 4 of Earth, power. Well, you're always powerful. Libra especially, I feel, no matter where Libra is for you, you're very powerful, and maybe you feel more powerful the times where you're alone. Even though you're the relationship sign, you know, you rule the 7th house, you are the scales of justice. You hold the balance. And when another energy is introduced, you know, maybe they can't hold the balance quite like you can, or they disrupt things, or they throw you off in some way. So you could find that, yeah, I'm most powerful when I'm all by myself, when I'm doing things outside of the norm, or when I'm single, or when I'm like, I have less people in my life, whatever, right? It's like, or I'm my own boss. That's when I feel fully in my power. And so it might be hard for you to take someone's hand to go to the dark side of the moon and get into some kind of relationship, because this, who wants to give this up, this self-sustaining kind of sovereignty? And I don't feel like you're going to be giving up anything. But I am seeing that it might not always feel that way. I feel like I'm getting a long-term vision of a very significant upcoming or current or past, I don't know, relationship. Like I'm seeing the big picture. And maybe that's what you need to hear, is the big picture. Tell me a little bit more about the challenge here, Spirit. Well, actually, let me ask a different question, if I may. Why are we having this reading? Why are we having this reading for Libra? Underworld, there's the dark side of the moon. Source and accomplishment. I'm telling you, Libra, there's something very guided about you following that white rabbit. Source consciousness is at your fingertips. Like, the guidance is there for you. Going to the dark side of the moon is part of your expansion. It is part of your ascension. You don't become whole by negating the darker aspects of life or yourself or of others. You have to see things, and you have to experience certain things as well. Now, of course, you know, you got to take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. There's many different situations, and not all we need to experience. I get that. But there's something pulling you. And when you come back, and you will come back because you're going to have that energetic thread. Maybe you're going to tie that thread to a spirit guide or source or your future self. Tie it to your future self. When you come back out and into the light side of the moon, you're going to be so accomplished. So if you're in a place right now where you're like, I'm in the dark, I'm totally lost, everything's silent, like there's no communication or there's no relationship, there's nothing happening, you're in the journey. You're in it right now. You already passed the threshold of the Fool card, like you're in it. You might be thinking, when is my story going to begin? When is you're in it. You're just in a certain chapter of it where you can't see the big picture yet. But it's there, definitely. Those of you who already gone through the journey, there is another trip back to the moon and to the dark side of the moon, even though you've already been there. This is a second trip, and it's a layer deeper for you. Okay? So don't be scared because you've done it before. The star is your advice. Some things just don't make sense right away, but in time, the plan is clear why things have been the way they've been. Some of you might feel like you're getting a second chance with something. 3 of Earth works. Yeah, there's that like private meeting. It's like other people, yeah, I don't know. You're getting pulled back. I want to be careful here because, well, why? Why do I want to be careful, Spirit? 2 of Water, sacred cord. Right. Because some of you may have experienced like a toxic situationship at work or with a friend or in love, and maybe you don't want to go back to that place with that person. And again, you don't have to. And this reading might not be about that at all. It could be about something else, a different person. Okay? So try to expand past that if you're upset about the thought of that happening again. It can be something else. It will actually be whatever you decide it to be. That's the power of your magic. So what do you want it to be? What do you want it to be? This relationship. What do you want this reading to be about? Because I feel like with the diviner here, you could really direct the energy in your favor. This is also a card of accomplishment. And with the star, this is like accomplishment on a level that is notable. It's not going to go unseen. Okay, so what's going to manifest in the next 3 months, and then we'll go to the extended, which again is in the description box below the link, is the 5 of Water, it says spilling, and 4 of Fire, flame of spirit, which is the 4 of Wands. Let me clarify before I say that. This is the transition. 9 of Wands and Father of Wands. Yeah, this is like when I said like there's like a wall, or like you're going to see a weak point, like you're going to get through this, like maybe it's an energetic wall, or like there's been something, some kind of block. And it's like you're getting through that block. But I don't know which way this is going, Spirit. Hold on. I need to know that. I have the Father of Swords. Well, it goes the way that you want it to go. So for some of you, you want to release sadness, regret, grief, maybe a breakup, maybe losing a career track or whatever. You know, some kind of loss with the 5 of Cups that you've been upset about. And you're going to transition from that energy into celebratory energy, union perhaps. Well, relationship card is here. Stability. I'm hearing fortitude. Something to do with, I'm seeing the poles and the 4 of Wands like being driven really deep into the ground. The root. You're going to establish the root of something. Or something is going to grow from the root that was already established before. Okay, that's what some of you want, and that's what you're going to get. And for others of you, it might be going the other way. Okay, where what you thought was going to be something to behold and celebrate turns out on your journey that something might not be worth fighting for, or you decide that it's best to let it go and to grieve it. And I know those are two kind of different endings here in the reading. But with the King of Swords, to clarify, Spirit is really saying it's about what you decide, what you want to happen. Either way, there's been a block in the energy where you couldn't make this transition. You couldn't get this to happen, and you're piercing through it. So this is a good time for you to decide, what do I want to do? Do I want to resolve something, maybe reconcile something, try again with something, and maybe it's not with the same person, but maybe try a relationship again? Or do I want to let that career path go, let that friendship go? You decide what you want, because it's the right time for it. And once you make your decision about what you want, you're going to have to release control around it and let something kind of happen. And there could be other people in your ear, many tongues, trying to direct you on your path. You should do this, Libra, or you should do that, Libra. Who are they? You decide. You get to decide this one. You get to decide all of them. But consciously, you get to decide this one. How it goes. The great work, 10 of Earth. But it's going to lead to a massive accomplishment in your soul's expansion. All right, Libra, I hope that gave you the information that you needed. I love you so much. I'll see you next time.